Sex is overrated when you look at the other options that exist now. If you're going to have sex with just one person, same way every night, or you can go online, or you can put on a VR helmet and you can have sex with anybody throughout history. Yeah, I guess the real thing is overrated, because what you're doing is you're just getting high. You're getting that dopamine, oxytocin hit. Those people would definitely tell you it's overrated. And when you look at the statistics of porn-induced erectile dysfunction, well, if it's broken, of course it's overrated. You're going to just go with what works.
What is porn-induced erectile dysfunction?
It's basically having a dependency on pornography to the point that you cannot function as a male the way that you should, either when you're watching pornography and gets that point. More commonly, what happens is that when a man is with his partner, he can't perform because the porn has sort of flooded those places that the real sex is supposed to stimulate.
So he can't get it up because he's been looking at too much porn.
Yes, and we know, if you look at something called the Coolidge effect, we know that when it comes to animals, they respond, humans included, they respond more positively to sexual images that they have not seen before. So if you're with the same person every day, day after day after day after day, and then there's something new in front of you, you're going to gravitate toward that something in front of you, and you won't have the reaction that you had to what's been there for a long time, because suddenly you've got this steady stream of new visuals coming your way, and our brains cannot always tell the difference between an image on a screen and a real person in front of us.
So what you're saying is that pornography is so graphic, especially the virtual reality stuff, that real sex just can't compete, in the way that it's difficult to get kids to read a book after they've been to an IMAX cinema.
Absolutely. Perfect example.
Well, Leslie Cragg, you are a sex toy expert. I hope we're not keeping you from your work tonight.
No, you're okay.
What do we think about this, Leslie? I mean, the fact that you are in the sex toy business would suggest that regular sex is overrated and that we need your devices.
No, not at all. It's just with, I personally think that sex is very, very important. It's probably the most important part of a relationship. And, it's not just about, the actual intercourse. It's the intimacy that surrounds it. And the, frequent orgasms, help with my mental health, with anxiety, and also it helps, when you are unable to sleep. But I do think it's very, very important now, because of the orgasm gap that we're currently facing. We are finding that a lot more people are turning to toys because, to actually get themselves over the line, to get the benefits of those orgasms. So I wouldn't say that toys actually replace, the act itself, but they are, becoming very handy and very helpful as a tool to actually make sure that both parties experience pleasure, which, everybody's entitled to.
What is an orgasm gap?
Okay, so it's the orgasm gap is the difference between the male and female. So it's 30% of ladies reach orgasm within, whilst having sexual activity.
Yeah, they're the ones I'm familiar with. Yeah, go on.
So it's 90% of men reach orgasm every time they have sex. So, that orgasm gap is it's too big. When you think that women have the only organ which is solely, for pleasure, it doesn't have anything, any other purpose apart from pleasure. So, and I think a lot of it is down to education as well. A lot of women feel as though that, they're not worthy. They, they feel as though that it's important to to make sure that their partner is pleasured. And, I've learned quite a lot over the past few years about self-pleasure, orgasms, and, I'm on a mission to actually break down the stigma and the barriers that surround, female pleasure, not just, in sex, but also self-pleasure as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Joshua, I also wonder whether the aspect of young people not having sex is not just the distraction of pornography, but the distraction of gaming and of social media and TikTok and WhatsApp and marijuana.
Absolutely. With the exception of marijuana, all of these things that you're talking about are called process addictions. And that is essentially where you latch on and obsess about something. And that you're exactly right. Gambling would be another big one of them. I think that we are looking for something to numb ourselves. We are looking for something to feel better. And unfortunately, with a lot of the younger people, because everybody's got one of these things in their pocket now, you can access pornography like you couldn't when you and I were kids, and nobody is being taught that, because they're afraid of the birds and the bees speech, which this isn't part of, that pornography, like alcohol, like smoking, like marijuana, like so many other things, can harm you. The vast majority of people will never be harmed by this stuff, but if 0% know about it, that's where the real fallout comes. And I think that, it's absolutely true. If you can have sex with a partner and make love, that's wonderful. But for the 15 and 16-year-old boys out there who never have, that are smoking blunts, that are watching an hour of porn every day, what happens in a couple years when they finally get to the point that they are going to be intimate with a partner? Well, they're not going to have any clue what to do because they've just watched 10,000 hours of pornography. And if you talk to porn actors and actresses, they'll tell you that's not the way they have sex in real life. It's fiction.
I don't talk.
So many people don't recognize pornography is fiction.
Yeah, I don't talk to porn actors, but I send them fan mail.